Yo, what is up, guys? This is Adventurous Gamers. I'm Shovelman56.
And I'm Shade.
And today we're going to be continuing our videos on the Overwatch update. And we're going to be talking about the match formats and the maps and sudden death.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about how the maps work and how they're changing for specifically how the maps are going to be. And we're going to explain how, if you're tied, how they're going to deal with it in sudden death.
So, to start it off, it makes sense that since we're doing competitive play, they're going to have to change some things. So we're going to start with the control maps. And if you guys aren't familiar with the control maps, if you guys play Call of Duty, it's like Hardpoint, where there's an objective and you guys have to hold it. And the longer you hold it, the more points you win. And you just have to try to win.
That's the one where it's like two teams are fighting for the hard point, and it's like you got to get it to 100%, right?
Exactly.
That's the one. Okay, perfect.
And if you guys play Overwatch in quick play, you know that you have to win 2 out of 3. But for competitive play, they're changing it so it's a best of 5. So you have to win 3 out of 5 in order to win.
Now moving on to the escort and hybrid maps. To remind you guys, the escort maps are the ones where the payload is already there. So kind of like the Hollywood one. It's already there. You got to get it and stand by it, and it'll start moving right away. Unlike the King's Row one, the one in England, where you have to go to the hard point, capture it, and then from there the payload is unlocked, and you got to start moving it. Those are what they mean by the escort and hybrid maps. So for these game modes, they got more technical, meaning that anytime you capture the hard point in those escort maps, you get a point. Anytime the payload reaches a checkpoint, you get a point. But then each team gets to play one round of offense and defense, and then at the end of these rounds, at the very end, the team with the most points wins.
But if the game ends in a tie, or if neither team had reached a finish, then the team that pushed the payload farther will be the winner. On Kings Row, Numbani, or Hollywood, if neither team actually captured the first objective, or if the score is tied, then it'll enter sudden death. But we'll talk about sudden death later, and we'll just keep talking about assault maps. It's just like a normal assault, A and B, we're both attacking.
Yes.
And then say you still have 7 minutes, and then you win the first one. It'll show up on here that you have time remaining 7 minutes or whatever. And then defenders become the attackers, and then they have to try to capture both objectives. And then if they capture it with any time remaining, it'll come onto here. And if both teams capture both objectives, it goes into rounds 3 and 4, where both of them are attacking again, but whatever time, the time remaining, that since the first team had 7 minutes, they have that much time to capture both objectives. And if the other second team finished in like 5 minutes, they have 5 minutes to capture both.
Okay.
But if they still both capture both, or somehow it still ends in a tie, then it enters sudden death, where it's randomly one's attacking, one's defending. If they capture one objective, then the attackers win.
Yes.
And then if they don't, then obviously the defenders win.
And sudden death, this applies for every type of map, right? Not just the assault maps. It applies for every map, but it's just easier to explain with the assault maps, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then one thing I left out was that when either team runs out of time, the team with the higher score wins.
Yeah.
So then if you run out of time, then the team with the higher score wins. But if there's a tie, if it's either a tie or a tie with no time left, then it enters sudden death.
Yes. Okay, perfect. All right.
Okay.
And that is all for the video, guys. We're going to be cutting it off here. We're going to see you in the next video talking about the rewards and what if you do bad things. So we'll see you in the next video, and we're calling it out. Woo!